Hey everyone, it's Casey. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my September TBR. I kind of want to leave this one a little bit freer, my September TBR, because I don't actually stick to my TBRs very much. But this is just like kind of a general idea of what I think I'm going to read. So the first book that I'm super excited about, that I really want to read this month in September, is A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro. I just recently hauled this one. I'll leave it linked below that video. It's kind of a retelling of Sherlock Holmes, where the Sherlock Holmes character is his like granddaughter, like great granddaughter, and then the Watson guy is like the great grandson, I guess, of Watson, or some sort of relative. So it's a boy and a girl. Anyway, I'm so excited for this. This is gonna be like a trilogy, and the second one's already out. So I'm just really intrigued by the idea. I kind of hope that there's like a romance between the two because, you know, that's what I'm all about. But I don't know. I'm super excited for this book. I definitely want to check it out. The next book I also recently hauled, and I got this book because I'm in kind of a reading slump. I did this really harsh transition in August where I was reading like a lot of nonfiction, and then I tried to switch right over to reading fiction, and it kind of blew up in my face. So now I'm kind of not reading anything really. So I got this book to help me. Debbie Maycumber's Any Dream Will Do, and I like to read these kind of like I don't know, sickeningly sweet romances whenever I'm in a reading slump because they're predictable. I know it's gonna happen. I know it's gonna have a good ending. Like a happily ever after. I don't know. They're just so easy to read that, and I know that I like them. I think that's part of it too. The worst part about a reading slump is when you can't find a book that you end up liking. And so I know I like her stuff. So anyway, I'll probably read that one honestly within the next week. Because I like her stuff. The next book I'm going to read, because I have the audiobook actually checked out, so I'll read this one really soon, is The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Neffeniger. I hope I'm saying that last name right, because it could easily turn bad. But anyway, this is a book. I've seen the movie of The Time Traveler's Wife, but it was like a long time ago when it first came out. So I know like the general idea about it's this guy who can time travel, and so he time travels back to like different points of his wife's life, I believe. And I don't know, I guess like that's the part I don't really know about. But I'm excited to read this and then rewatch the movie, because I remember I really liked the movie, but I've never seen it since it came out like 10 years ago. So super excited about that. The next book that I think I'm going to read probably at the end of September, or maybe like the early part of October, is Until Friday Night by Abby Kleins. This is a YA book about the main guy is on the football team. I think he's like the quarterback, and I think it's about a girl who moves to town, and she kind of has this dark past, and then then she like falls in love with the quarterback or whatever. Yeah, I'm super excited to read this in the fall time once it starts, like feeling like fall now that school is back in session. And I don't know, it kind of gives me very like Friday Night Light vibes. So I hope it's as good as that show is. There's also a sequel that I actually do own. It's called Under the Lights. So hopefully I really like this and then can also read that book. It just seems like a fun YA. Then the next one, my reading this month is going to be very random, because the next book I want to read is The Game by Ken Dryden. This is a memoir by Ken Dryden, obviously, and he is like considered one of the best goalies of all time. He played for the Montreal, whatever those are, Maple Leafs? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'll find out. Oh, the Montreal Canadiens. Sorry, Canada. Anyway, he's like considered to be like this awesome goalie, and so this is his memoir. I started reading this maybe like 6 years ago, and so I've read the first half of it. I'll obviously have to restart it because I don't remember much about it, but I remember really liking it. So I'm planning to do like top 5 hockey books like in October, November, like I did with the top 5 baseball books. And so I wanted to finish this one because I knew I really liked it. I've read a lot of hockey books, and this one was really good. The next book that's on my list to read is kind of one that well, anyway, let me tell you what it was. It's the Paper Menagerie by Ken Liu. I just hauled this one, and it's a collection of short stories. And I've heard someone talk about, I have no idea who, about how the story, The Paper Menagerie, is like one of their all-time favorite stories ever. So I'm going to definitely probably read that one. It's only like 10 or 20 pages. And then I'm going to decide if I like the writing style and the story, building and everything, if I want to read the other stories. Otherwise, I will probably give this to my mom and unhaul it, because I'm one of those people, I don't like to have a lot of books around that I haven't read. Like, I've bought so many books I haven't read since I started BookTube, and it doesn't, it gives me, like, I don't know, anxiety, but, like, that sounds very dramatic. I just don't like having them. I only like to have books around that I've read, which is super weird. But anyway, so we'll see if I like this or not. I'll definitely read The Paper Menagerie. And then the last 2 books I'm going to talk about are books I checked out from the library. I'm pretty sure I'm going to read, like, 2 of these. I'll start with the one I'm not sure if I'm going to read. And they're all about tornadoes. I mean, come on, guys. I'm in this, like, huge tornado thing. But I find this so fascinating. So, anyway, the one I'm not sure if I'm going to read is called Big Weather, Chasing Tornadoes in the Heart of America. It's by Mark Svinfold. I know I'm saying that exactly right. But this is the one I'm not sure if I'm going to read. It's about tornado chasing. We shall see. This will be the last one I read, so if the other 2 are really good and, like, keep me wanting to read about tornadoes, then I'll read this. If the other 2 kind of, like, satisfy my tornado need, then I probably won't read this one. The one I'm most excited about is called The Storm and the Tide by Lars Anderson, and this is one that if I like it, I'm going to actually buy, because I think it's so beautiful. It's hard to tell, especially with the library thing, whatever this is called on it, but it's like all maroon, like the whole book is maroon, because this focuses on the 2011 tornado outbreak that hit Tuscaloosa. Specifically, this focuses on how the University of Alabama and their football team helped kind of rebuild the spirits of Tuscaloosa, and how the football team was impacted by those tornadoes, because college students were killed in it, and I think, like, one of the main players, his girlfriend was killed in that tornado. So this kind of focuses on that. So I'm super excited to read this one. Definitely going to read it. And then the last book I have is called F5. It's by Mark Levine. It is Devastation, Survival, and the Most Violent Tornado Outbreak of the 20th Century. This one focuses on the April 1974 tornado outbreak. And I'm specifically interested about this one because a lot of the books I read about tornadoes take place in, like, Oklahoma, Kansas, or, like, this tornado outbreak happened in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia primarily, and, like, Tennessee, but those were the primary ones. So this tornado outbreak, like, one of them hit Louisville, and I live in Kentucky. I don't live in Louisville, but, and this, I think, like, Indiana and Illinois, kind of like where I live, was impacted. So I think this is kind of like a neat, different, geographical focus that I'm interested in. So hopefully it's really good. And those are all the books that I'm, like, intentionally want to read in September. I'll probably listen to some other audiobooks, or maybe not even read any of these books in September. I don't know, but those are what I'm thinking about reading in September. Anyway, please subscribe and leave me a comment if you've read any of these books, or if you have any suggestions on other things I might like to read, like, as we're transitioning into fall. Thanks. Bye.